Welcome back to Boruto Anime Review Episode 186. This one I'm viewing the newest episode of the anime, which is known as Karma, and the newest chapter of the manga, which is the 55th chapter of the manga. Yep. This episode finished up adapting chapter 22. Yeah, like the last 6 pages. Done. Yep, they finished the chapter, and it went through pretty much the entirety of chapter 23. Yep, though I think this arc will probably... I thought it would end this episode, but no, it ends next week. So we start off where last week's episode left off, where you see where he sees Koji. Yep. Summons his steam toad, and he jumps down off the tower while crushing it, and then it was basically as the last ditch ever, basically using his power to push aside Boruto so he's not crushed by the damn thing. Very honorable man to do. And then of course Koji himself decides to, actually briefly, now there is some minor changes they do make to the actual anime. So then of course Koji decides to do some chatting. He introduces himself as Koji Kajin, and he briefly battles Konohamaru. Yeah, well, first they trap him in this jutsu, and they actually added this in because in the manga it's his shirt's open and he got this thing. And in the anime, you actually see him pull the zipper down to show off the seal on his chest to allow him to release the seal. And they briefly have a fight. He summons his Rasengan, and Koji summons his own Rasengan. And oh yeah, that's an actual Rasengan. And then he's like, okay, yeah. And of course he knows who he is. And then he sends a toad, basically sets him on fire. Yes, sends Konohamaru on fire. Boruto, not liking this, so basically he says, stop it, stop it, stop it. And then the symbol of his hand changes. We actually see the transformation is basically covering his arm. And you see go up his face and covering his eye. You actually see in the end, which is really cool. I love this sequence. Though we don't get what happened in the most recent chapter where it looked like there was a horn pop out of his head. Yeah, we don't see that in this episode because that happens later. Later on in the current arc of the manga, happened about 10 chapters back. Happened a while back when he did a couple times. And then he just absorbs the lightning jutsu that was paralyzing them and sucks up all the fire jutsu that was basically nearly burning Konohamaru. And then he collapses. And of course when Koji says, oh, Karma. And after Boruto collapses, he just turns around and says, I withdraw. He also says that I'll let you all live as a reward for showing me something interesting. And of course, Sadara basically wants to know what the heck Karma is. She wants to attack her to get more information, but Misuke stops him. Yep, Misuke stops her, and he's like, "Thank you for doing that, child of Orochimaru." Yep, but apparently he doesn't know anything about. I'm sure he may know about Sadara's parents. But as for the doctor, I highly doubt he knows who the heck he is. So, Boruto wakes up. Of course, he's walking along. Of course, the mark does disappear. Of course, he also wonders what the heck is going on. And Mark goes back and basically is full of diamond on the center of the palm of his hand. And then they start walking. From before I get to continue this, we actually have a cutaway to Karma headquarters. Kara headquarters. We see Armando looking over on the computer, checking over code, and check on him and okay, so it's gonna be Koji or Baro, and of course he's just drinking. It looks like he's been drinking more coffee, and oh crap, my coffee! Gotta go get some more coffee. And then Delta walks in. Yes, the beautiful Delta walks in, checks over the computer. Oh, code basically is clear, and so is Baro. But Koji can't be trusted. And then she hears... She looks like she's about to do more research. And then she hears that probably Amano's coming back. So he just slips the room really quickly. And Amano's like, wonder what happened here. And then we cut away to seeing Code, who basically is acting very suspicious. And that's it for that. But meanwhile, back at the actual place where Team 7's at, along with the scientists... But wondering what was the container? What was in that container? And where is the dog? I wondered that too. The dog disappeared. And then of course Then of course, and they just walk by this open air, which this is actually does look a little different in the anime. They actually a little more rocks in the anime. Basically, this whole moment a little different. And then he just leaps up and sees what it is. Of course, Boruto goes right behind him. He sees what's there. What does he see? A valley full of broken puppets. Though they point out these look like the different. These puppets look different than the ones near the airship. And why would puppets be this far from the airship? Who knows? And then, of course, they look like they're about to leave. And, of course, Ninja Hound shows up. And then we see the most shocking thing happen in the episode. We see technically the first chronological appearance of a character was last seen way back in the pilot episode of the series. You are thinking, who? Well, they come across him, and it's Kawanaki. Yep, making technically his first chronological appearance in the anime, though it's his second ever appearance in the main series. Yes, Kawanaki. And of course, Boruto jumps down, and of course he runs to him. Like, oh crap, he's got a mark on his hand like me. And that's the episode ends. I gotta say, really damn good episode. I thought it was interesting though that the Kara stuff was very limited this episode. Like, it was less than last week. And this episode, the way I was watching it felt like though this was longer, because usually these episodes go up pretty quickly. This episode felt like it was like an hour long. Because it felt like it kept going. But it was a damn good episode, and I can't wait for next week, which was probably going to continue adapt manga for one more chapter, looks like. Yeah. So, now moving on to new chapter of manga, which is Legacy. And look, here's Code in the cover. Now, Code, this is a slight alteration for that middle on his face. In the anime, it's silver. In the manga, apparently it's colored black for some reason. I don't know why. Now, we're going to get to something basically that some people have been talking about online, and I'll get my thoughts on it. We see Naruto looks like he's awake, and he's talking to Kurama. Oh, he's alive. Okay. So, and he says, and Kurama says, basically, like, over here, I come to say farewell. This is as far as I go. This will be our last conversation, so start talking. And Naruto's like, well, you did kill my mom and pa. No, that's not it. We've been through a lot. I'm glad you're around. Thanks. Are you serious? That's it? That was a preface, but I have no idea what to say. The buyer worked, and we were able to take down Artsky. I didn't want to chase my tails down in vain. So I got to work these bars in the Kwangi village. Well, that's not my concern. You need to take care of that on your own. And our doctor's like, what? Normally when Jurikiki Baru is distracted, they die. But that doesn't apply to the bunch of Chako simply vanishes. It's probably like the others, like you're dead. Don't worry, temporary head shock. Don't worry, wake up soon. Wait, hold on a second. What are you saying? The buyer mode's price is my life, not yours, Naruto. Just let you know, I never once lied to you, and no time I ever say you would die. You deliberately misled me. You told me you got that power in exchange for your life, my life. You wouldn't hesitate. Of course, you opposed it. I would hope, because you're ignoring like that. Am I wrong, Kurama? And then Kurama dies. Yep, Kurama dies. Like, wow, this is something. Look up the stomach Kishimoto. Now, I think that the reason why they decided to change it, where I'm sure the original plan was this point to have Naruto die, but change to a Kurama dies. I think that's a lot better, because if they kill him off, I'm sure Kishimoto himself would be very upset. This is probably the reason why he decided to come back to the series after his new manga canceled. Yes, after America canceled. He probably heard that the writer of the series was going to kill off Naruto. He was like, no, don't do that. So he probably told the editor, we're going to change it to Kurama dying. That's my theory what happened. So he reached out, looked like he's about to see Kurama, and basically it's Boruto. Yep. And of course, well, Kurama's gone. And we see Sasuke's there too. And where is him? And Kawan, of course, missing his arm. Yeah, he doesn't have Karma anymore, so Karma's gone. So, and of course, And it's also revealed here that Sasuke can't use the Rinnegan anymore. Yep, that's gone. Completely gone. He still has a Sharingan, but the Rinnegan, nope, that's gone. So, with basically what Kurama did, he can't have a super strength anymore. So, does that mean he can't go to Kiba mode? Interesting. So basically, Boruto's gotten weaker, but at least he didn't die. Yep, at least he didn't die, which is a good thing. And the thing is, Sasuke does not blame Boruto for crossing his Rinnegan. He's not mad at him for that. That was all Momoshiki. So he uses his power to create a portal. And then we cut to Code, who is alive. Yes. He like yawned, like, I overslept. Yeah, Code is the only one left. I'm like, really? Yeah, he's the only one left in the organization. Victor died at the start of the Owl arc. Kaja Kojin, I think, is still alive. Delta is unconscious, last I saw her. I don't think she was destroyed, per se. I think she was just deactivated in the ways. Basically, she's not dead, per se. She's just unconscious. That's just my thing of it. And, of course, the leader is gone, so we see the Ten Tails. He's like there, like, huh. And we see his karma, basically, is white. And then it starts activating. And then we see Isuke. Yes, the leader of Karma. He supposedly is alive, but not really. No, this is his last-ditch effort. Says, how fate indulges in irony. A dawn vessel is gone, and nowhere for my soul to dwell. Its destination would lead me to you, who could not become a vessel. Your soul, the resurrection failed. What happened to Kwanaki? I was deceived, betrayed by Amado, and forced to resurrect in Jagan. That's not like so. It's because Kawaki's karma dissipate, but if here's your karma remain, you who are not able to become a super vessel. He's like, well, this karma was a dud. Unlike Kawaki, I can become a vessel. I am beyond humble to be able to appear before me. Fortunately, I cannot serve as a replica for your soul. The non-vessel white karma. That is my legacy dwelling with you in a pure form. You shall inherit the Otsuki will, in addition to that white code. My soul dissipates shortly. I cannot allow the Otsuki will to be sent I will. Now, not when we have devoured countless planets. Planets. So, apparently, they're planet killers. Yeah, this is, before I continue what exactly he says, like, I continue evolving 1,000. So apparently, this clan is kind of like basically the Naruto Wars version of Galactus. Yep, Planet Devourers. Yep. Sure, what do you do? Kwanki Boruto. You want them to be fed to the Ten Tails and cultivate the Divine Tree. Boruto. Then produce chakra tree that bears fruit. The crystallization of the planet's life contain everything. A record of all life. Live dying. Eat upgrade yourself code. And yourself become a new Awaski. Go forth from door. Plan out the planet. Keep evolving until you become in essence a god. That's well, you shall inherit code. A god, huh? But a worshiper of Osiki, you were a god. My god. First I wanted to pose up, then so my pillar of my heart before me, for our divine tree absorb life. Tell me the name is the bastard who destroyed you. And of course Boruto's trying to use it. Yeah, he's seriously trying. And then eventually it takes some convincing. He does eventually use it. When I think finally loads up here. Yep. Yeah, for some reason it's taking a bit too. Oh my gosh, seriously. Yes, my phone is just buffering. I had to wait for it to upload here. Sorry about this, but this is getting kind of ridiculous. There we go. Okay. So he's like, my comic's gone. Somehow I'll go your comic, but then you get out of there. Okay, so they chat for a while. I was like, hate this, and of course, do it. And of course, he does. And he sends the four of them, and of course, Sasuke is like grabbing Naruto by the arm. And then we see Sasumori, Kisuke, Amando, and Shikamaru. How things turn out. Also, you're saying? You were just thinking. Nothing important. And you're like, what? You sure? He's like, alright. Naruto Taylor is back. No sign of Okatsuki. Looks like all things went well. Yay! But what about Kwanki's? They tell me they're all injured, but they're safe. In case we're heading there now. And no more then. And Sasumori is just basically sweating. I see, he's safe. I think Sasumori is worried. And where do they teleport to? The top of the Hokage Mount. The Hokage Mansion. Interesting, this is so cool. They're like, whew, I'm beat. Finally home to our village. Yeah, barely. Somehow. You can do it. Try fast next time. He tells them to be quiet. You know, I feel like he's also lining up with you. God, you gotta be joking. Hurry up and stand your own. And we got back to Common Headquarters. Kawanaki, the traitor Armando, Sasuke, Naruto, and Momoshiki's vessel, Boruto. Next chapter comes out in 26 days. I gotta hand to it. This was actually a pretty dang good episode, a pretty good chapter. And with this one, it kind of felt as though we kind of, in a way, wrapped this arc finally. That's been going on for about 30 chapters. Yes, 30 chapters of this long arc was finally over. Yes, after almost 3 years, we finally wrap up this arc. And I gotta say, this was a damn good arc. And this chapter, really good. I give this chapter roughly I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. It's a damn good chapter. Okay, so that's it for particular view. Next view, Comic Corner. Okay, to this video. Bye.